Good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only Cappy D Bar, and we are here to discuss some wrestling. All right, we are going to be doing our best, all right, to discuss February 20th, all right, 2026. Collision, all right, February 21st, 2026 Collision, along with February's 23rd Raw. Right now, a lot of stuff happened in between these two dates, so let's try to get into it as much as we can. All right, this is what we're going to be calling our weekly wrestling recap. Now the internet, mostly Fed fans, have taken to the internet to rebuke one comment from one Mr. Thomas Brady. All right, he was speaking to Logan Paul on some red carpet event. I really couldn't tell you what the fuck was going on. Long story short, Logan Paul made the comment, this wrestling shit so hard, even though he steals and botches moves every other fucking Sunday, 7 times to Sunday, he will literally mess up his own signature move. The move that he's supposed to be perfecting in PC, he'll fuck it up at least 3 times a year, but one of the best wrestlers in the world, right? Fuck out my face. But basically Tom Brady, he was listening to Logan Paul talk about how he steals fucking moves and how he has fake fights with people, and he called it cute. He called what Logan Paul does cute, compared to somebody like a Ray Moss or somebody like a Randy Jackson, yeah. Like somebody like a Ray Moss or somebody like a Ocho Cinco, yeah. Yeah, I think Ocho Cinco is 100% tougher than Logan Paul. I don't understand why this is a hot take. I don't. Logan Paul literally gets like 5 weeks of prep before every match. It's like a male version of Maxine Dupree, where they are trying their best to lab engineer this guy to be in the top seat. But I mean, hey, the universe has a really fun way of working out, huh? We're going to get into the no-names and where the no-names are right now with Logan Paulie, all right? The fucking spot monkey, all right? And basically how his comments of, on wrestling have made almost every single Fed wrestler come out and say something. Even like Alexa Bliss had something to say. Let's clear the air. Let's clear the air right now. Alexa Bliss is a phenomenal worker. Or was it like Liv Morgan? They're both the same person at this point. Listen, they're both great workers. Liv Morgan's a great wrestler. I aspire to be the level of wrestler that she is one day, inshallah. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like somebody like Tom Brady, who has successfully came out on the winning side of 7 Super Bowls. I'm not calling that person like ignorant in their statements like, hey, yeah, I get sacked. I have like 400-pound men rush at me with everything they have every Monday night and sometimes twice a week. Yeah, I do think I have a higher athleticism level than a guy who sits in a fucking training room all day for 4 weeks on end to perfect a 30-minute match. Logan Paul, for some nights, he just goes out there and he talks. He doesn't even wrestle. Oh man. So those are my small comments on Tom Brady. He's right. I mean, it's funny, right? Because I don't think Tom Brady can make an actual argument like that against somebody like a Shinsuke Nakamura, right? Against somebody like a Hiromu Tanahashi. Right? Somebody who has made their entire life around working through some of the most pain, like some of the most excruciating injuries, right? Like, here's my perfect example. Kenny Omega had disc vertitis, right? And, the casuals won't know that. Some casuals probably don't even know who Kenny Omega is. But if you were to tell somebody, hey, there is a guy in our field of work who wrestled after having half of his intestines taken out, that's a bad motherfucker, whether you want to get political with the companies or not. It is what it is. Kenny Omega are this random Joe Schmo character that you want to put in for Kenny because, like weird tribalism politics. Whoever you put in for Kenny Omega wrestling after facing disc vertitis, that is a person you are going to give ups. What the fuck has Logan Paul done to be in that category of people? I mean, Kurt Angle wrestled with a broke freaking neck. Is Logan Paul in the category of Kurt Angle? This nigga Paul Heyman said that Austin Theory is on the level of Shawn Michaels. And when he said that, the room visibly paused and tried to digest what had just came.
He's Shawn Michaels when Shawn was in the Rockers.
You just compared Austin Theory to Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. And when he said that, the room visibly paused and tried to digest what had just came out of his mouth. Now, Paul did his best to try to make it make sense, but Austin Theory has been given dog shit. And I'm not going to lie, if you really read in between the lines there, Paul calling the no-names the rockers is basically him saying that there's a disposable or maybe two disposables in the no-names. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, after a Seth and a Braun Breaker injury, I'm not calling anyone disposable. All right, listen, the last thing I want to do is to paint the image that one of these guys, one of these days, on any other random Raw in the calendar year is going to break a part of this team I'm supposed to be building up. I'm supposed to be given some kind of juice, some kind of gas. And he quite literally said, hey, yeah, we're just waiting for our McGillicuddy and Michaels moment. And I'm like, huh? Like, huh? Like you're waiting for somebody to get thrown through the fucking barbershop window? Like I just, I don't know. I don't know what that statement was. Bully Ray, when he repeated it back to Paul Heyman, he kind of looked like he was having a small aneurysm.
A normal, like, hi-hat from modern music, shall we say. So we got something like that. All right, that's cool. So something like that, I just probably roll it on in.
So I just think that that says enough about where those comments lie in the pantheon of stupid fucking comments. You know, but I mean, I want the best for Austin Theory. I would have had Austin Theory in the Seth Rollins group months ago. But, you know, this company does what the fuck it wants and it pushes who it wants, you know? And again, karma has a really funny way of coming back to this company. All right, let's do our best to rampage through this collision. You guys see what I did there? You guys, no, it's okay. All right. February 21st, collision. All right. I caught bits and pieces of this. I wasn't able to review it just due to like personal issues. I think actually I was reviewing SmackDown right around the time that this came out. So, you know, it just didn't line up perfectly. But what I will say is the small things that I have for positives on this small things that I have for positives on this collision are, as of no surprise, Hangman Adam Page, women's wrestling, and good old-fashioned secondary titles, baby. Let's get into it. Now, truth be told, all right, as of recording this, it is the 24th. So, as you can see, I'm a couple of days behind. A very simple concept that keeps your non-flagship shows afloat, all right? We get a very fun trios match with The Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Taya Loona versus Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, the Kinetic One, and the Hanger, all right? Mr. Adam Page himself. Very cool match. Immediate notes I took were Speedball and Ricochet would have been a perfectly fine match. Don't know why we're not getting more 1v1s anymore. You know, it's a bunch of triple threat 6-man tags, but neither here nor there. It is what it is. But again, that's only because Ricochet is as athletic and as quickly timed as he is. You know, Hangman has developed a lot more of a methodical style from his old days in the indie scene. All right, not the same Hangman that he used to be. Did not hate this match again. I think the showing is good for The Demand. You know, a good title defense for, you know, Ready Set Go or Ready Set Rodeo, whatever. Ready Set Rodeo. Yes. A good showing from Ready Set Rodeo. I would love if Jack Perry maybe had a little bit more, I don't know, oomph when he did stuff, because I mean the crowd pops and his tag partner is obviously out of action, so it's not a lot you can do without Luchasaurus. But I'm not gonna lie, like even going back to like that whole like huntsman knife gimmick, there's something there with Jack Perry. There's something there with Jack Perry that they're not fully utilizing. I don't know why, but they're not fully utilizing it, and that kind of upsets me. This distraction obviously allows Hangman to hit the buckshot. 1, 2, 3. But before this, Ricochet looked very, very strong. And, you know, Bishop Khan, I've been very big on Bishop Khan for a while now. Tyler Rona is probably one of the only big men in that ring, not counting Hangman as a kind of light heavyweight situation. So everyone played their role. And, all right, again, good secondary title defense. You can't ask a lot else from this company. All right, now moving directly into our next little segment. All right, we got the Young Bucks versus the Swirl. Who's the Swirl? Exactly. All right, this Blake Christian and another fine gentleman, another fine young man. I don't really know these guys' names, honestly. Listen, I know Blake Christian because of the Jack Harlow edits, and I know they're called the Swirl because that was the funniest thing on the internet for like a good 2 days straight, just them being called the Swirl. It is pretty clever. It's good marketing. I couldn't tell you these guys' names though. It's Blake Christian, somebody else, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson. That's 3 out of 4. Okay. Very fast-paced match. It's the Young Bucks. Don't know what else you expect. The Young Bucks end up going over on this young tag team, but Blake Christian is smooth, very smooth in that ring, and I'm expecting a lot of great things from him when Nick Wayne comes back. You know, they're theorized that they're supposed to have a rivalry before Nick Wayne got put out with that weird fucking frantic spike injury to the Achilles. Oh man, what a crazy industry this is. I will be moving directly on from this Young Bucks to comment briefly on the Young Bucks possibility of hitting a championship once again. FTR, great tag team. Young Bucks, great tag team. There is no story here, which is the biggest downside for this build. But what I can say is that the match itself is going to be nothing less than phenomenal. Oh man, there's that word phenomenal, huh? There's that word phenomenal. Oh man. All right, let's get through the rest of this collision. Everything that we got from Claudio and Josh Alexander was very good. Very old style graps, very old school wrestling. I think if you don't like this match, then you're not gonna like anything you're ever gonna see on any wrestling shows. There were no weird there were no weird run-ins. There were no funky, funny business on the outside. It was graps. Simple fucking graps. Claudio versus Josh Alexander. This does play into our rematch that we have a little bit later in the night with Jon Moxley, Yuta Wheeler, and with Jon Moxley, Yuta Wheeler, and Pac versus Konosuke Takeshita and 2 other members of the Don Callis family. There's a lot of things leaving me about this collision. I'm sorry, guys. All right, you have to forgive me. It was literally 3 days ago. Positives, though, immediate positives. Elcon and Pac minutes. There was a positive last time. Jon Moxley and Takeshita minutes. It was a positive last time. I am really sitting on this Moxley and Andrade shit, man. I don't know if we're ever going to get that match. I honestly, I don't know if we're ever going to get that fucking match. Like Okada versus Garcia. Takeshita versus Claudio. I mean, Gabe Kidd versus Kyle Fletcher. I mean, just little stuff. It's silly on its head. Sure, it's silly, but it's what you guys are building to. So why not just give us something new? Why not something different? Like this could have been the Athena match. Like immediately when I'm watching this rematch, I'm thinking, oh, this could have just been an Athena match. This could have been something different. This could have been a women's match. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. Not the biggest fans of it. Not the biggest fan of it all. All right, moving directly into our the latter half of our night. All right, we get Thunder Rosa versus a very nice woman, Julia Hart, a former AEW, a former TBS Women's Champion. Julia Hart is the perfect pairing for Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is obviously still trying to gain her bearings. A little bit of ring rust in there. Who wouldn't have ring rust after being out for almost like 200 days, as the announcers say. So all shout outs to Thunder Rosa for, her in-ring prowess. She is very sharp in that ring. As I stated before, I'm very, very large on Thunder Rosa. I think her presentation, I think her ability in ring, I think some of the things that she is capable of on that mic, it's just different than anybody else. It's different than anything anyone else can offer in that locker room, and it is nothing less than beneficial. So anything that we get from Thunder Rosa in the future, I am going to be a large fan of, including anything with the Thekla segment, because Thekla is a beast on the mic. She has great presentation. She can work her ass off in that ring. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get, knowing that this most likely is going to result in a Chris Statlander title resnatch. Knowing that this is most likely going to, knowing that this is most likely going to amount to a Chris Statlander title snatch back. I'm gonna share along for the ride. Realistically, I would love to see Queen Aminata take off that belt from Thekla, being that they had one of the more memorable women feuds in the past year. I just think that that's simple marketing. That's one of Thekla's best one of Thekla's most hard-hitting, fiercest opponents in Queen Aminata, right? No, whatever. That's what we get from the 6-man tag match. Good graps, good match, but it is a rematch. So, in the words of one Simon Miller, I'm going to have to give this segment a down. All right. Last couple of things on the card that we will be discussing. Last couple of things on the card that we will be discussing, all right, is the Rascals going over on FTR. Yeah, they go over on them. The idea is, even if the Young Bucks lose, then the Rascals can win. This hypothetically is going to kind of culminate in maybe a 3-way tag match, which I wouldn't despise, but I do think will be a little lazy, or a Rascals v Bucks or Rascals v FTR somewhere down the line. All this to say, I do not know if the Young Bucks are going to take those titles off of the FTR, but it's possible that they might. And again, if we had a correct if we had a correct course for this tag division, we could be getting a massive jet speed pop somewhere down the line. But they are in the trios division, so it is what it is. All right, I think this is also kind of a spoiler for Hangman probably not going over anytime soon unless they get that fucking trios belt off of him. Listen, I loved Samoa Joe with the AEW World Championship and the trios belt. I loved it, right? It was probably one of the better images of 2025. I do not want this nigga Hangman to be a double champion, strictly for the fact that he is being wasted in the trios division. He does not need to be here. He doesn't need to be here. Now, if you do a trios tournament, that would piss off. Oh, that would make so many Fed fans so fucking upset. But if you do that, I mean, that it would kind of take away from some of the, I'll say, lackluster performance that we're getting on the lackluster performance that we're somewhat getting on the creative side with this, right? Because if FTR is capable of beating the Young Bucks, right, then are the Rascals just supposed to have some phenomenal upset victory on FTR? The Young Bucks have been one of the better tag teams this year, last year even. So it's just, I don't know. Like, thinking about it on an actual logic front, it is a little slippery, a bit of a slippery slope. But again, solid 7.5 collision. The women's wrestling did save this. I would have loved for there to be more. I would have loved for there to be more women's wrestling. But the small stories that we got here and there, the small vignettes that we got, it was enough. It was enough. Definitely wasn't overly satisfactory, though. I can say that with a full heart. All right, now we're going to be moving directly into our February's 22nd, I believe. February's 23rd. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, man, all right, I feel like this Monday Night Raw was barely advertised, right? But that's because they had this match in front of the Firefly Funhouse crowd. Yeah, mismatch with Bray Wyatt and John Cena acting for 50% of a wrestling match, not just selling, physical, actual acting with makeup and directorial instructions. That kind of acting. Yeah, that was fun. That is what we get from most of this night. The crowd's dead silent. Dead silent. They pop for Brock the Piss Boy Predator. That was cool. Yay. I mean, the guy who was named, all right, in a sexual harassment and human trafficking case. Yes, that is the person that we should be putting in the front and center of our flagship show. What an intelligent company we are. Yeah, and then on top of that, all right, if we do any main, and on top of that, when we have our next anniversary Raw, all right, whatever city we're in that week, we're going to also block them from watching the Raw. Yes, because the main key to the Federation, and Vince McMahon Sr. understood this perfectly. Capital rules all. Fuck the consumers, fuck the fans, fuck the loyalists. Capital rules all. And for that reason, that is why they're telling your fat, jalapeno-covered fingered ass to get down to that stadium and sit in that lobby filled with 14,000 other virgins for 600 plus. That's what these people want. Yeah. They want you to waste your money so you can go out of your way to make their bottom lines easier when their bottom lines have been covered for 3 years minimum. These people work on salary, folks. These people don't get paid hourly. Do you think wrestlers are production fucking managers? Go out there and make hourly wages? No, they don't. It's a fucking sham, ladies and gentlemen. All right, they want you to go out there and spend all this money on their product that they could give less of a fuck about. Triple Nose, Triple Reich, he's barely there half of the nights. He's barely there if he's not nodding off in the back. He's doing some podcast with Pac McDonald's. Or for doing a Turning Point USA convention. This guy doesn't care about wrestling. Wrestling? No, you see, I'm going to be the first person for these video games about everyone else. I'm going to be the first person in all these videos about video packages for other people. The first time that we announce a new show, a new pay-per-view, I'm not calling them PLEs. Be a fucking adult. The next time we have a pay-per-view, I'm just not gonna show any of the wrestlers. Just me. Me. Because everything is about this fucking big-nosed dork. And that's why these shows suck. That's why these shows blow so fucking hard. Because the people at the top of the hierarchy, they can give less of a fuck about creative. They can give less of a fuck about creative. You know, it's theorized wholeheartedly, that Javon Evans, one of the most brightest up-and-coming stars in that company, somebody who should undeniably be a secondary champion within the next 4 weeks of them who should undeniably, like someone who should unquestionably be a secondary champion within the next couple of weeks. No later than 3 months, Javon Evans along with Obafemi should be minimum secondary title holders. You know what they're probably going to do with Javon? People are theorizing he's going to get taken out by Brock the Predator. Like, people are theorizing he's going to get taken out by Brock the Molester. Or LA Knight, yeah. Yeah, no, him. They're probably going to find a way to take him out, right? Because at the end of the day, it's fuck the fans, it's fuck the loyalists, and it's fuck you. It's as simple as that. And that's exactly why half the things that we want to happen in this company don't happen. That's why for anyone who is very big on the Viking Raiders, who is very big on people like an Axiom, people like a Street Profits, you can, as the boss says, fuck off. I mean, hell, I like Montez Ford, but he ain't no Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, by the way, who gets damn near chewed in half by CM Punk in his promo tonight. We're going to, in the wise words of BC Amplified, talk about it. All right? Because it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to talk about. You know what? Scratch that. It's not a lot to talk about. This show blows. This show fucking sucks. It's awful. It's maybe one of the worst pieces of fucking television airing right now. And I wish I was saying that like in a hyperbolic sense. I wish I was being like, you know, cavalier when I said, no, it's genuinely awful. They actually had somebody who's actively named in a human trafficking case on television. Didn't say a word of English. Didn't speak a word of English. Wonder why. Hey. And then when Paul Heyman was doing all the talking for him, he might as well have just been ordering a pizza. He might as well literally have been asking everyone in that arena, hey, do you guys like drums or flats? I mean, they got up for the reaction, and then they seen that he was just walking around and pacing the ring for 3 straight minutes while Paul Heyman spits the same gimmick he's been spitting for 2 years now. Here's my new person that isn't Roman Reigns. Isn't he godly? Isn't he almighty? Isn't he something to marvel at? Who could take down my client? Now excuse me as I go stand next to the most hated man in Japan, Logan Paul. It's mind-boggling the kind of fucking mental gymnastics that will have you run to watch this shit. Because who in their right mind is turning on their TVs and going, I need to see Brock Lesnar in 2026. Do what? Brock Lesnar do what? Oh, I want to see Brock and Oba. Get a fucking life, buddy. Get a fucking... Obafemi is going to get squashed by Brock Lesnar. And then every single ounce of momentum that he has built up until and including NXT is going to plummet. It is maybe going to be one of the biggest fall-offs if we have Oba go up against Brock. I'm not even joking when I say that shit. They're going to force a fucking last minute play in the end zone. All right, the hour of the fucking pay-per-view to put Brock over. That's not a spoiler. That's a guarantee. That's a fucking guarantee. This company will not prioritize people like Obafemi. It's not gonna happen. All right, and you know what? Even if it does, why is Brock the match that you find? Braun Breaker isn't right there. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. No. Up and coming stars that can maybe hold the reins of this company for the next generation minimum. No. Let's get the piss boy involved in fucking human trafficking. Oh, real geniuses, but real fucking geniuses running this club. All right, enough cold open. I guess we might as well talk about this shit chronologically, or at least what we can. Let's talk about what we can chronologically, because nothing fucking happened. Zero, zilch, nada, except for Bronson Reed twisting his bicep 2 inches to the right. Too funny. Huh? I mean, hey, we can talk about it. All right, one of the first segments of the night that we get, okay, is CM Pompadour, all right, Corporate Phil, going out of his way to tell all of us that he is going to be carrying the entire load of this fucking build until WrestleMania season. That's practically what he told us. He told us that Roman Reigns works on a part-timer schedule and that he's full-time. Holidays, weekends, house shows, even though they barely do those, he is there more days in the week than Roman Reigns. That's a fact. It's a fact. It is what it is. All right, we just got to simply move on with the fact. But the only thing is, that fact is maybe one of the most widely known facts in the Federation, that this nigga Roman don't come to work. So basically what we had is CM Punk going out there and telling this the equivalent of 2 + 3 equals. That's what CM Punk's out there telling us. Like, hey guys, Roman's not here. He's never here. When is he ever there? But when it's pay-per-view season time? When it's time to sell some tickets? What are we talking about? Like, fuck out my face, bro. Honestly, I couldn't be more disconnected with the CM Punk and Finn Balor shit, mainly because they're still doing this whole, ooh, there seems to be trouble in the Judgment Day. They're still doing the most corniest shit you could imagine with these fucking stories, okay? Now, is Finn Balor gonna probably bring out the demon anytime soon? Maybe not. Hey, let's be honest, guys. Maybe not. What I can say definitively is that Finn can still wrestle. Finn can still string together words and make you feel a little something. All he needs is the right rocket fuel. That's all he needs. Will his company pull that on him? No, but they'll put that shit on Jey Uso, Mr. Yeetmaster, in a heartbeat. I mean, hell, you give Logan Paul a hot mic and he's practically the CEO of TKO. I mean, there is nothing stopping these fucking people in this company who already get such insane pushes from just going above and beyond, just getting more. It's, man, it's damning. It's fucking damning. Well, in the midst of a match between the original Americana, where's Ludwig? Who knows? Who cares? He's too over for TV. Jason Uso, you know, Yeet Drunk Fist Yeet Master 95, right? And Bronson Reed. These niggas go to the Elimination Chamber. Yup, you guessed it, the Samoan. Nope, not that one. He's from New Zealand. The other Samoan. Because Bronson Reed... this fucking company, man. Bronson Reed gets injured breaking up a pin. And I have to assume it's because they haven't trained these guys, or they haven't rehearsed breaking up a pin in maybe 2 months. Maybe. I'm not even joking. They're probably doing fucking spot rehearsals on Zoom or something. Like, the length that this company goes to cut and snip at corners is ruining this industry. It's ruining it. Because what do you mean Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are both injured from completely avoidable injuries? You know how avoidable a fucking hernia is? Just think about it for 2 seconds. A hernia is straining yourself more than humanly possible. And the mechs, you strain yourself so much to the point that you literally tear at your own muscle fibers. Braun Breaker isn't in a faction? Braun Breaker isn't in a faction? Braun Breaker can't do things with multiple people? Oh man, I don't know. Because I feel like that's something that you rehearse. Like, you rehearse breaking up a pin. Like, you rehearse. Maybe you don't rehearse a coast-to-coast headbutt, which is exactly what Seth did, which put us in this scenario. But there are steps you can take as a business and as an entertainment company as to where the entire night is not going to be derailed because you actively did not surveillance your own product close enough. And that's really all this shit boils down to. They didn't pay close enough attention during film. They didn't pay close enough attention during rehearsals. And now Bronson Reed is just on the sidelines with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. WrestleMania 5-6 weeks away. No joke, 5-6 weeks away max. Man, this company is something else, isn't it? Huh? Man, this company is something else. As of, Grande Americano, being the nobody in this match, because who cares? Chad Gable, clearly not Triple H. After Bronson Reed loses, it's obvious that he was supposed to win this match by some way or means. This leaves Jey Uso to go over. Jey Uso will now be running his intro back during the Elimination Chamber. Oy vey. Oy vey. That just really bummed me the fuck out. Javon Evans has a really nice match with one Kofi Kingston. Well, at least it was nice until Offset became like a main part. Offset became a main part of the story. Now I want to mention something really quickly. Xavier Woods, he's on TV even though he's injured. That's more work than Dominic Mysterio does, so all credit to Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods, he has like this weird back and forth with Offset, and then this leads to Grayson Waller having a back and forth with Offset. Now I just want to ask everybody for a second. Why the fuck is Offset on my TV if I'm watching Javon Evans? Why? Why is Javon Evans even out here if Offset's gonna wrestle? If we're gonna have an Offset match, let's just do Offset and Logan Paul. I mean, that's what the fuck these people want, right? They want celebrity eyes, they want celebrity boost, they want celebrity viralness. So let's give them what they want. Let's get Offset versus Logan Paul. 3 stages of hell, 60-minute timer. That doesn't sound entertaining to anybody? You people don't want musical musicians with zero athleticism on your fucking television screens? Aside from somebody with loads of athleticism and athletic experience, like a Johnny Gargano? Who the fuck wants to see Johnny Gargano? I have Offset, setting it off. That's what we get. Lucky us, huh? Lucky us for getting celebrities in places of actual talent. Not looking at you, Logan Paul. We're not talking about you right now. Oh, man. All right. Listen, the best thing I can do to try to wrap up this fucking review is get directly into this AJ segment. Oh, man, I'm not discussing Natalie and Maxine because that was dog shit. That finish was dog shit. That Natty story is going nowhere. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee are going nowhere. It should have been Natty versus Becky. That's such an obvious story. Natty versus AJ. Really simple story. They're not going to do it, though, because that's putting a Neidhart over. Because Natty Neidhart is of the Hart family lineage, and they will not dare put anyone from Brett or Owen's family over as organically as they already have put themselves. Shout out to Natty turning gold into turning shit bricks into gold once again. Listen, it's very possible that AJ Styles never wrestles again, and I do want to choose my words carefully here. I think the idea that AJ Styles' last match was against a guy who tapped out to Jey Uso, who was maybe a part of one of the worst retirement runs in all of wrestling history with John Cena and Gunther. And then you just wrap all that up with them being in Saudi Arabia instead of like Atlanta, Georgia, or like New York City, like Madison Square Garden. Like the options that we had, and we got Saudi Arabia. With all of the context of who he was facing and how it happened, man, like we really might not get a AJ Styles and Will Ospreay match, man. That's like, I don't really know how to feel, man. And it's weird because they made him do this whole fucking thing. Like they brought the whole roster out and they made it all about Undertaker. Like Undertaker came out and it wasn't even like something like somber and cool. He went out there with the fucking Chop Harley, and I'm like, bro, you're fucking like 90. Like, listen, like honestly, I used to think Undertaker was cool. I used to think Undertaker was one of the coolest motherfuckers on the face of this planet. Until he made it his mission to show up to NXT every single week and make some of the shows. Like, until he made it his mission to come to NXT every other 2 weeks and make the entire show about him. Now, respectfully, it's probably because the viewership was down. Understandably, they didn't want to lose to Dynamite in the viewership ratings again. Understandable, right? I'm not going to be honest though. Undertaker didn't need to be out here. Undertaker didn't need to be out here. Undertaker being out here took away from AJ Styles' retirement. AJ Styles, who gave a very nice speech about his family and his love that he has for the industry. All this other like super important shit. I'm not going to sit here and just detract from an AJ Styles and Kenny Omega match never happening. I'm not going to detract from that. And people are saying, yeah, well, you know, this is where he's happy. He's happy here. I bet he is happy with the MAGA 2028 Make America Healthy Again crew. I bet he is happy with them, right? Because that's his people. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Saudi fucking Arabia. Oh, this is a lot to digest. It's a lot to digest. I think my biggest takeaway is that this company doesn't know what to do with retirement runs. And I'm really questioning if they've seen anything happening with Hiromu Tanahashi, and they were just like, oh, no, we can do that better, guys. No, trust me, guys. We can do that so much better than New Japan Pro Wrestling. We can do that so much better than them. And then the John Cena tour happened, and then the AJ Styles tour abruptly finished before WrestleMania, mind you. Man, they had the nigga AJ retire before WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. There's no fucking way he doesn't go to AEW, right? I keep repeating these things out loud, and I'm like, there's no way he doesn't go to AEW, right? Right? Oh man, I don't know, but AJ Styles got inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's probably gonna go on a legacy deal. He's gonna start coaching some fucking schmucks on LFG, get yelled at by Michelle McCool or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta stop thinking about him versus Bandino. I'm gonna fucking kill myself in Minecraft. This was a tough Raw. And honestly, I tried my best, guys. I really tried my best. But some of the shit that they give you here is like a worse version of SmackDown. And SmackDown is maybe some of the hardest shit to sit through. So I don't blame me. I don't blame me at all. This was excruciating. And I think it's only going to get worse from here going towards WrestleMania. I mean that shit wholeheartedly. But that was my somewhat shotgun review for February 21st, 2026 Collision, and my rant. I don't even call that shit a review. It was a rant for Raw, right? February 23rd, 2026. I have a lot of other things in store, right? So that was everything for your boy Cappy, all right? As I always say, I hope all of you stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful, all right? Peace.